Hi my YouTube family, welcome into today's video, which I know I am going to make some people mad. I have found two palettes that I bought recently, and I am sorry, but they just are not good. They're out for the holidays, and for me, they have been complete duds. Now, I am going to start with one that you probably won't be surprised about. It is the Tarte. This one is the High Performance Neutral, and this one is the holiday special for Ulta. It comes packaged beautifully. It's $49, and it says it has a $411 retail value. So, yeah, if you're looking at it like that, you're getting a good deal. So it does come packaged. You wouldn't have to wrap it or anything, and then you get it out, and here it is. That has a protection for the front on it, and then it has this really pretty little medallion right here done in purple, which you guys know I absolutely love. Done in purple, and I actually haven't taken the plastic off of it at all yet, but you pull that plastic back and then you have that. Then you have this little tab right here, and this is where this palette hits it out of the park. This packaging is actually quite innovative and quite fun. So you open it up and you have that plastic sheet that you get on top. Let me get that sheet off of there. And then you have quite a lot to work with, actually. So you have your 25 shadows. You get a lip gloss and a lip paint. You get two blushes. You get a contour shade, and then you get a highlighting shade over here. And then you also get the Man-Eater mascara and a little trial size of the Kohl Man-Eater liner. I do like these liners, and I do like the mascara, but let's just start with that. Actually, I'm not going to talk about the liner because there wasn't anything wrong with it. It was the normal formula, but I want to show you guys what happened. And I know that this is probably just a defect in my particular palette, but I feel like someone opening this as a present, they would be so disappointed in this. So as I opened this, I could feel that it was already stripped and I couldn't untwist it, so I just had to pull it out, and right there you can see that the whole entire stopper, and I just got it all over my finger because it didn't come out right, the whole entire stopper is stuck up in there, and the threads are stripped right there. So I feel like, you know, I just right off the bat was disappointed with that. It wasn't something that I feel like, okay, you know, somebody that's getting this, they would be like, okay, well, I can work with that. Well, no, they shouldn't have to. They should have to be getting a really nice gift. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the lip glosses and the lip paints. They were fine. They were the normal formula that are in here. Let me swatch them quickly for you. They're more of nude colors, kind of, you know, along the lines of pinky nude colors. And I don't know why this is the case, but hopefully you guys can see that there is blue on that applicator. I don't know why there's blue on the applicator, but yeah, that is what it is. Here are your two swatches. Very pretty colors, very wearable, kind of a mauve on the paint, and then more of a pinky nude on the gloss right up here. So those colors were pretty. Now here's where my issue comes in. As I began to put my finger in here, I started out with the contour shade, and I was like, okay, this is soft, this is nice, wasn't too bad, kind of pigmented, really not dark enough for a lot of people, but you know, I get it that a lot of these holiday palettes are just missing the mark on that. But then I started to touch the blushes, and you guys, they're nothing like that contour shade. One of them is actually extremely powdery, and then the other one just had no pigment to it. So I was just kind of worried about that. And then the highlight was actually pretty good. The highlight really, you know, has a good shimmer to it, a good feel to it. I really did like that. Okay, so not too bad on those. So you've got like 2 out of the 4 that are very, very usable. The mascara, that's a problem. One of the lip paints that has the blue on it. Okay, so you see where I'm going. I'm already kind of disappointed. But let me tell you, as I put my finger into these shadows and tried to swatch them, you guys, there is hardly any color here. There's just no, there's like no serious payoff. And I am not being a Tarte hater. I like Tarte. Here is one of them that did pay off well, but that is supposed to be actually one of the darkest shades in here, and that is not one of the darkest shades I've ever seen. And these come across patchy. They are extremely, and I am not I'm not being a diva here. I'm not being dramatic. They are extremely powdery. I dipped my brush in here, and you guys think that the Subculture palette was bad about that. These are terrible, but the difference is that the Subculture had all of that pigmentation. It was like working with a loose pigment. There isn't any here. Tried it 3 different times to get 3 different looks out of it. And I'm not kidding. You guys know how I use the tape. As I tap off my brush really good, and I had to tap off extra with this. And then, so I'm trying to work it in, and I'm like, there's no color coming there. There's no payoff there. And they're so powdery. There's not any creaminess about them. This is not my favorite. You guys, I know. Everybody else is kind of raving about what Tarte did this holiday season. But last holiday season, I picked up their kit, and it was the same exact thing. I ended up putting it to the wayside. So disappointed in Tarte. And I actually watched What Would Lizzie Do, and I watched Kelly Strack this morning, and I watched both of them play around with the Sephora Tarte collection and their palette, and they really liked it, and they said it was very pigmented. However, I did notice as Lizzie was doing her video that she had quite a bit of patchiness, and it took her quite a while to blend out. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this palette and everything about it is just a total miss. I'm not liking it, you guys. You can see these are some of the darker colors that I've reached into. Now I'm going to reach into one of these, this one right here. This is a matte color, and this is probably the darkest, second to the darkest shade in here. And so that's what it did right there. And if you can see, I mean, it's just so patchy, and it's just, I can't even begin to describe to you how I don't like these shadows. I just really have not been impressed. I could not get pretty looks. And I'll tell you what, all 3 times that I tried to work with each different color in here, one day I ended up just not even liking my makeup. I took it off early. The second day I took it off right after, and I worked with something else. And then the third day I did the same thing. So you guys, this is definitely a pass for me. I know that the packaging is so cool, but no, it just did not work for me at all. Okay, so the next one, I know that I am going to get so many boos and so many hisses about, because I watched Emily Noel do her video on this, and that girl's excitement absolutely made me go out and buy this thing immediately. I was so excited for the Lorac Pro 4 palette that they only have these come out in the holiday season, and they come out only at Ulta. And they retail for $59. This year, why Emily was so excited about it, you get a huge mirror in there. And this year, there is just some really beautiful different colors. This isn't your average neutral palette. This isn't your average warm palette that everybody is all gaga about all the time. But this palette, again, I was so let down. And the reason being is because I wanted to do looks that were more outside the box and outside the norm. And so I really wanted to work with this steel gray right here that is kind of a light blue color, and then I wanted to work with this deeper blue color to make like a smoky kind of gray look on there, and then work with this teal to do my eyeliner. And that looked so bad because the fallout from this was it was horrible. And you can see right here, I even kind of made a little bit of a divot into that steel color right there, because I was trying to get pigment up enough to be able to get it on my lid. This just fell so short for me. The other thing that is absolutely driving me crazy about so many of these palettes is they have so many colors that are the same. So if you look on this side right here, you've got colors that are the same. I mean, honestly, if you went like this and then you went like this is just like, okay, color palette, pale palette, and there's no in between. There's no like step you over colors. There are a couple that you could use, but again, my big thing is, you know what, make that palette half pale, the whole thing half pale. And I get some of them are duochromes, I get that, but even they weren't that great. Honestly, I just really was not that impressed with what looked like was supposed to be a duochrome. So for me, this palette fell short. Again, the there wasn't that butteriness, that really, really pigmented look that you can work with in order to create just beautiful, gorgeous looks. Now, part of probably one of the reason that I was so let down about this palette is I received my ColourPop My Little Pony palette on the same day. And you guys can see that this is a really colorful palette too, but I'm going to show you just one thing. Now remember, I just talked about that steel gray one, so I'm going to dip my finger in there, and I'm going to just swatch that across my hand. So this is out of the Pro 4 palette, the Lorac Pro 4 palette, and then this one right here is the My Little Pony, and the colors are really actually very close to each other as far as finishes go. However, and I'm really laying this on with both colors, you guys. Take a look at the difference in pigmentation. The one is a wash and the other one really gives you that metallic color that I feel like should have come from this color as well. There they are on my hands. This is the ColourPop and this is the Lorac one. This is just my opinion. I know that a couple of you have said, Melissa, you need to go out and get this. It's so good. I'm so glad that you like it. I really, really am. But for me, it just fell short. And, you know, sometimes I think that it just boils down to what everybody likes and their differences. So that's it for today's rundown of these two palettes that really disappointed me for the holidays. Don't throw any rotten fruit or rotten vegetables at me, please. It's just my opinion on this. Please give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you would. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I love you guys so much, even though you might not like me very much right now, but I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.